Hi, everybody. This week we are going to write an informational book about a country, and you are going to pick the country that you would like to write about. We've been writing a lot of informational books lately. We just had a project about a pond animal, and some of you wrote informational books. We wrote an informational book about an insect. So we already know that informational books are nonfiction, they're not fake, and they're teaching us about something. So you are going to research a country and teach us about that country. So before we pick our country, let's look at the world. The world is broken up into 7 continents, and maybe you've heard this song before. A continent is different from a country, so let's learn about continents before we get to countries. This song sounds like this. Asia, Africa, North and South America, Antarctica, Europe, and finally Australia. Those are the 7 continents in the world. Now, we live in North America, but we live in a country that's in North America. That country is the United States. So inside of each continent, there are smaller pieces of land called a country. If I can zoom in, I can look at Africa, the continent, and inside of Africa, there are a lot of different countries. Each color is a different country. There's Algeria, there's Egypt. Now, if we look over here in Asia, we can see there's China right here, Japan, India, and we live here in the United States. Below us is Mexico. We've been learning about Mexico. So you are going to pick a country to research, and there are a lot of different countries to pick from. There are 195 countries in the world. So how are you going to just pick one to write about? Well, you might want to talk to your parents. Maybe you have family that lives in a different country. Maybe you were born in a different country. Maybe you had a friend that moved to a different country, like our friend Ryan moved to South Korea. So maybe that's the country you'd like to research. If you're not sure which country you want to research, then I'll show you where to look on pebblego, where you can find one that looks awesome. Before we go to pebblego, let's talk about how we're going to make our book. How to write my book. 1, pick a country. If you already know which country you want to write about, you can move on to step 2. Research your country on pebblego or National Geographic. After you research, you'll go to step 3. Write at least 4 sentences about your country. So you can write 4 sentences, or you can write more than that. Let's take a look at pebblego. I have my username and password, so I'm pushing go. And I will show you how we can find the countries. First, you click Social Studies in pink. Then you'll see here countries in blue. This is pebblego has a lot of different countries you can choose from. They don't have all 195 countries, but they do have a lot of options. So if you're not sure which country to pick, you can look at the pictures and find one that you think looks interesting. I have a friend that used to live in Brazil, so I'm going to pick Brazil for my country. So I love pebblego because they will read to us and they have a lot of great information about things. So I'm going to listen to all of the tabs on Brazil. I can click the yellow to have it read to me.
Brazil is the largest country in South America. It is the 5th largest country in the world. It is about the same size as the United States. Its capital city is Brasilia.
Then I go to the next tab.
Landforms and climate.
And I'll read about this one too. Brazil has a tropical climate. Well, what does tropical mean?
Tropical, having to do with the hot, wet areas near the equator.
Interesting. The weather is warm and wet. Brazil's most famous landform is the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest flows across northern Brazil. The eastern coast is known for its sandy beaches. All right,
Population and language.
I won't read the rest to you, but there is a tab on the population and the language that they speak or languages. There is a tab on the history, and then there's one on fun facts. So when I chose to write my informational book, I picked one thing from each tab to write about.
Where is Brazil?
Another great place you can do research is on National Geographic for Kids. So you might need help from your parents to come to our Week at a Glance that I emailed them. And if you scoot down to our choice menu and look at writing, since we're writing a book, you can click Explore Countries on Nat Geo Kids. Then you can scoot down and you can see if they have your country. They don't have all of the same countries as pebblego. So here's Brazil. I can look at photos and I can read more about Brazil here. So I did my research on Brazil and now I'm ready to show you the book that I wrote. It took me several days to write my book, so I want you to take your time too. My book is titled Brazil by Miss Hilton. Brazil is the same size as the United States. The Amazon rainforest is in Brazil. Portuguese is the official language. They have a great soccer team. I also chose to illustrate a picture that I thought would represent Brazil well. So here is the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. So this is not going to be due until Friday. So you can take your time to write your book. If you write your book and you're interested in some more fun ideas, you could cook a dish with your family from the country you research. So you can make something to eat from that country that they eat there. You can learn words in the language from that country on duolingo.com. You can also listen to traditional music from that country. If you do any of those things, please send me a picture on Seesaw because I'd love to see that. Send me a picture of your book on Friday or before Friday if you finish, and I'd love to share your books with the class so we can all learn about different countries. If you have any questions, you can ask me on this video and I'll answer. Have fun!